Evolution Royale Ghost in a nutshell. Royale Ghost will be the next evolution coming to Clash Royale. You can find it in this chest or in a shop offer. I'd appreciate using code Abdod if you end up buying it. For stats, it has the exact same stats as the regular Ghost and it's a 2-cycle evolution. The mechanic of this Evo allows him to spawn 2 soldiers. Yes, that's a play on the word soul and the word soldier. And it's the official name, so don't sue me if you think the joke sucks. Anyway, back to this. The spawning isn't tied to him killing a unit. Instead, it's tied to him being invisible when he does his attack. So yes, every time he goes invisible, then hits something, another set of soldiers will spawn. And I'll have you know this, there is actually no limit to this, so I guess you all can have some fun when this drops, trying to get the world record for most soldiers on the arena. Now these soldiers have the exact same damage and also splash radius as the regular Ghost. They even go invisible like he does and can walk over the river. They're basically just another Ghost. The only difference is that they have the HP of a skeleton, so they get one shot by nearly everything. The spawn pattern of these soldiers depend on where the Ghost is facing, so if he's looking at the right, they will spawn vertically instead of horizontally. And the soldiers have spawn damage kinda like the Mega Knight one, but with a bunch of twists. The first twist is that the damage isn't really where they drop. As you can see, the goblin here is alive and well. Instead, the spawn damage applies on the same area the original Ghost attack landed on. The second twist is that the spawn damage is said to be 261 and the regular soldier damage is 261. Since 2 soldiers fall, it might look like each one deals 261 damage, but it's 261 for both. For example, let me show you. A musketeer getting 2 hits from the Ghost and then getting zapped survives at 1 HP. If I get an Evo Ghost to hit her once plus ability plus zap, she will also survive at 1 HP. Oh, and the spawn damage doesn't hit air. I know it doesn't make sense for it to do, but I just felt like checking it anyway. The soldiers are considered regular troops, so they will give a soul to the Skeleton King when they die. Killing them with a goblin curse will give you a goblin. Mother Witch will get piggies out of them. Oh, and they can be cloned, which I guess has no downsides since their HP is low enough to be one shot anyway. Countering him isn't really that difficult if you use something that's like slightly beefy, because his DPS isn't super high even when there's 3 of him. You could think of his spawn damage as a Prince charge and soak it with a small card first and then play whatever tank on him. The most efficient way to counter him is to kite him in a position where the second tower will kill one of the soldiers. This means you want to avoid having them spawn vertically, as this would keep them safe from the other tower, which changes the outcome by a lot. Usually people are comfortable taking a Ghost hit to counter him with something like minions. The Evo is extremely punishing to let it connect to your tower. I personally would not want to do that. If you want to use an air unit, surrounding him still works, so try to distract him a tiny bit to mitigate the damage taken. The only time I would be comfortable taking a hit from him on my tower is if I had to counter him with something weak. I would do it very deep and close to my tower. If I did it far away, he would turn invisible again and spawn a second set of soldiers, so you really need to make sure he doesn't go invisible. Oh, and splash attacks don't really work on him because the soldiers spawn very far away from him, so they are safe. As long as nothing pushes them towards one another or something, they will be really safe from nearly any splash attack in the game. On the enemy side, you could think of him the same way you think of the Witch, but he only spawns troops once, so a rage is more worth it here. Decks that run snowballs specifically need to be extra careful, because while it does kill them, he might become invisible again from the pushback. Support troops won't have much issue dealing with these soldiers if they weren't locked in on something else, because they are very fragile. Now, if you are the one playing him, I can't stress enough how important it is to use him as a defend into counter push. He will get 2 soldiers from defending, and if he survives, he will get a guaranteed second set of soldiers when the opponent counter... Oh, come on. And when I say he is cracked on defense, I actually really mean it. Evo Mega Knight is one of my favorite applications, as every time he knocks him back, he will get distracted by the 2 soldiers and the Ghost will go invisible, allowing him to spawn a second set, and it keeps going like that. Against Boss Bandit, these little bozos will make using her ability a complete waste of elixir, as they will prevent the dash and make your Ghost go invisible, which again allows him to spawn another set. Evo Drill gets wrecked by him because the soldiers spawn in a good position to counter the second and the third drill, and also it will have your Ghost walk around following it and going invisible again. And his spawn damage makes him great at assassinating cards behind pushes, as he almost one-shots fireballies. The natural placement for you defending with a ghost or any melee card really is to place it right in front of their card, but that's bad because when the ghost moves onto the enemy side, these soldiers will be targeted first. Since you can control where they drop, try to have your ghost behind their card so they drop behind him. This way, when they move towards the enemy side, the soldiers would be getting tanked for by the ghost, so the damage output would be much better. Controlling the ghost's position goes beyond this. For example, a naked ghost on the tower will have one of his soldiers die. It doesn't matter where you place him, the way he walks and positions himself around the tower will always put one of the soldiers in the Princess Tower range. But here's the funny part, pushing him around with a bigger troop and dispositioning him will solve this, and it isn't unrealistic cause that's actually a viable combo. I think Ghost will still be best used in the same decks that already use him, and in the same way that he gets played. The only major difference is that he will now require more effort to stop, and it will be harder to focus on both the win condition and him at the same time. For king activations, the tornado one still works, but the soldiers will make you take a ton of damage that you will end up losing half your king tower. With fisherman, the same regular ghost activation is possible, but this one will make you take a ton of damage on your tower, so it really isn't worth going for. Here is the new arena that I forgot to show yesterday, but to be honest, who cares, because it was accidentally added to the game like 2 days ago, so you already saw it. Now time for the sound effects. Holy, 4 videos in a week, and it's the same week a new Sonic game dropped. What a perfect timing. You all better give me 1 billion views for my struggle, my dudes.